How's the fall housing market in the Toronto area shaping up? That's what we're going to cover today. My name is John Pasalis, president at Realosophy Realty. You can catch all my latest writings on Toronto's housing market at movesmartly.com. If you find this video helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my latest videos. So we're going to kick off with what I think is sort of the most important trend for September. The numbers just came out. And for pretty much the entire year, 2021, average prices for low-rise homes, that's detached semis, row houses, had pretty much plateaued at about 1.3 million for the entire year. Even though it's a competitive market, a lot of the heat had come off, buyers were making kind of more balanced purchase prices. Things were kind of calm, even though it was a competitive market. So prices had plateaued for pretty much the whole year, but that trend ended in September. In September, average prices passed 1.4 million. So they climbed just under $100,000 literally in the span of 1 month. That's 7% increase in 1 month, 29% increase year over year. So again, we're seeing again a renewed surge in the housing market right now. And a lot of this is again driven by these imbalances between supply and demand right now. If we look at the number of sales, sales are below last year, because last year we had this sort of surge in activity following the lockdowns. But sales right now for low-rise homes are still well above historical norms. When we look at the active number of listings on the market, and this is a big challenge, there were just under 5,000 homes available for sale end of September in a month when there's usually 11,000 homes. So what's driving this imbalance? What's driving this sort of tight inventory? I'm going to do a separate video unpacking sort of the supply question, specifically for houses and the trends that we're seeing. But right now, the key takeaway is that there's just not a lot to choose from. Buyers jumped back into the market after hitting pause a little bit in the summer, and that put a lot more pressure onto the housing market and drove prices up. So the low-rise market continues to be competitive all across the GTA. And we'll see if that trends in those prices kind of stabilize as we move into the remaining couple of months of 2021. Now, when we look at the condominium market, it's a little bit more balanced. If we look at the sales volume, sales are slightly above historical norms, but not well above. And similarly, when we look at the active number of condominiums listings, we're well below last year, because last year we saw this surge of condos hitting the market as prices and rents fell. But the number of condos listed for sale right now available are in line with historical trends. So the market's certainly more balanced. When we look at the months of available inventory in the market, we have about 1.5 months, which is still a tight competitive seller's market, but not quite as competitive as the market for low-rise homes. And similarly, when we look at what has gone on with prices for condominiums, we did see a very similar trend to what we saw with houses. Prices had plateaued at about 700,000 for condominiums for most of the year. And then they did increase a bit to 726, not quite the acceleration we saw in low-rise houses, but they definitely did increase. And so they were up 13% over last year. So condo market's still busy, not quite as competitive as low-rise homes. And we'll see how these trends and this imbalance between supply and demand progresses as we move into the last few months of 2021. If you have any questions about this, please post it in the comments below or send me an email at askjohn@movesmartly.com.